enjoying turns in all of Formula One. There you see Alain Prost pulling into the McLaren pits for his change to slick tires. Meanwhile, Senna has assumed the lead. And I was going to point out that Senna, of all the drivers in the field, got closest to his Friday time. As John mentioned at the top of the show, virtually all the qualifying times that set the grid were achieved on Friday. Quite unusual that they did not improve in the Saturday session, which was very windy and run under a threat of rain, and no one came as close to his Friday.
La sosta ai box è sempre un imprevisto, in ogni caso. Più lento mi sembra indubbiamente di Ayrton Senna, molto più lento ma accettabile, buono. Ha sbagliato con la prima, gli è partita una ruota, la ruota posteriore, incredibile, avete visto il grave errore del box della Williams che ha compromesso totalmente la gara di Mansell e a questo punto anche il campionato del mondo. Non c'è più niente da fare, la macchina non può essere toccata, potrebbe ritornare a spinta con i suoi meccanici al box, ma non è giusto che venga spinta da persone esterne. È anche pericolosa la posizione, blocca l'uscita dei box, quindi c'era, mi sembra, un ex direttore della Benetton che stava aiutando a spingere la macchina di Mansell, che è in una posizione pericolosissima, quindi sicuramente momento di grande tensione, compromessa anche la gara di Mansell, bruttissima figura della squadra Williams che doveva, come ha fatto la McLaren, far entrare prima il secondo pilota dello schieramento, dell'andamento della gara, cioè Patrese, e adesso stanno facendo un intervento proibito, non possono mettere la gomma fuori dalla loro postazione box, quindi per quella che è la mia interpretazione del regolamento attuale, ecco, vediamo, perché qui c'è un intervento fuori dalla postazione box. La mia opinione personale è che quello che stanno facendo alla Williams non sia regolare. Posso anche sbagliarmi, dovremmo andare a leggere l'articolo, ma...
He dropped back to fourth behind Senna and Schumacher as a result.
About 50 yards in front of him. Instantaneously, Nakano in from 16th. He's been lapped twice already.
Well, both McLarens are lapping now in the 1:22s. That's 2 seconds off of the pace they were doing at the beginning of the race. And you really have to assume that they're carrying an awful lot of fuel, and they're getting the spare fuel hose there on the Minardi. Clearly the first one not working, so they'll get the teammates' fuel hose and stick some gas in it, but that's cost him 45 seconds, hasn't it, all told? But you have to assume that McLaren possibly and probably run to the end of the race, and that's why Michael Schumacher's having to scarper. He's got a 10.
Es schüttet.
als Erster.
Irvine entscheidet sich für den ersten Stop.
Und
Und
das Team
Hektik.
ist nicht bereit.
Na, wunderbar. Hier.
Aber trotzdem, wahrscheinlich verliert er weniger Zeit mit dem frühen Wechsel. Man verstellt übrigens auch die Flügel, also Flügel auf Regen eingestellt.
Da hat sich Irvine ganz kurzfristig entschieden zu kommen. Die Reifen sind noch nicht mal da. Riesenhektik bei Ferrari. Da muss er sich ganz kurzfristig entschieden haben. Aber was nimmt er denn, Marc?
Nein, die haben einen Fehler gemacht.
Das war der falsche Reifen. Jetzt kommt er wieder runter.
Oh Gott, oh Gott.
Die haben Trockenreifen bereitgelegt unter den Heizdecken.
Aber da hat das Team geschlafen. Die müssen doch bereit sein, wenn es so regnet.
Jetzt kann Schumacher natürlich auch nicht hereinfahren, wenn er bei der Box hereinkäme.
Doch, der wird trotzdem kommen, weil bei den Bedingungen denke ich nicht, dass man weiterfahren kann.
Ich meine, seine Nase gewechselt. Bei der Gelegenheit schauen wir hier auf die Reifen, die er bekommt.
Natürlich auch aufgetankt, denke ich. Der Schlauch war jedenfalls dran.
Er nimmt auch Regen mit. Denkst
Nein,
du? Hier.
nein.
Die haben umoperiert. Jetzt kommt doch Regen drauf. Wir sehen das auf dem Boxengassenkanal. Konfusion bei Ferrari. Das ist Casino-artig, das kennen wir ja schon.
Ja,
hier
gut.
vorne rechts klemmt's.
Oh nein.
Strong, and there is Mika Salo. What an enormously long stop. That shot his race. 38-second pit stop.
Just put up with. Now, what are they going to put on this? And that looks like another set of slicks to me, James.
It is a set of slicks, absolutely extraordinary. When Salo came in a moment ago, they had both slicks and dries ready for him.
Right
But
rear.
they're not ready on the left rear. There's no tyre. Right rear, I beg your pardon, there's no tyre here.
I've never seen anything like it. There's no tyre to put on.
Oh, I thought we had one when the race started, he's saying. Well, this is ludicrous. This is
Now they're
blown
going to
it.
have a committee meeting about it. Stick it on and send him out.
Well, this has blown it for Irvine, blown it for Ferrari. I don't know what's happened, but there was a major misorganisation problem there.
Coulthard comes down the pit road. Ralf Schumacher in the pits for a new front wing.
One more left front. Left front tyre. Left front tyre. Put that tyre back on then. Put the fucking tyre back on. Put that tyre back on.
Oh, and there's all sorts of trouble. They're going to put a used tyre. The new set of tyres, of course, still in their blankets. Wasn't ready for the car. Didn't expect to stop.
Oh, what a shame for Ralf Schumacher, second in the World Championship. And that had
the first half of the field down to 8th place are in the pits,
problems
with the exception of Coulthard.
What is happening? Right, McLaren are not ready. McLaren are not ready. They've made a big mistake. David Coulthard is being left out there. Raikkonen has no wheels on his car.
Intermediates for Michael Schumacher, for Rubens Barrichello, and I suspect also for Michael Schumacher.
I would think so, yes. Intermediates on the Bridgestones are very, very effective. Ralf Schumacher into the pits as well now.
He's on full wets.
So he comes back out, and this is where the race may well swing back towards Ferrari big time, because we know how good these intermediate tyres are for the Bridgestone users. And now Michael Schumacher will try and hunt down. There is Raikkonen eventually getting out of the pit lane.
Kept punt on the part of McLaren.
Now this was Ralph's stop. They had a problem as well, John. Look, they didn't have a wheel ready for the left front or right front, and that took him an age to get him out again.
I think it was a choice of whether they wanted to go it wrong when the rain came. They've got to get it right this time. They're going to take another gamble. David Coulthard coming in was in 10th, dropped down to 11th.
They weren't ready for him, John.
That slippery concrete. Well,
they weren't ready. They weren't expecting him in at all.
This is unbelievable. I've never seen something. I mean, had the radios gone down, there's a no communication between driver. There we see a set of dry weather tyres on. Those are the grooves, slick tyres, brand new set. Now the fuel going in, and this has just turned into a disaster. And the fuel hose didn't connect because they had to.
Still waiting for that
what
front
is
tyre.
going on here today? This is, I mean, people pay to see a pantomime. They don't come to see it at a Grand Prix.
Well, it is a great surprise, and it's not often that we've seen McLaren put in a performance like this. It is
the moment not worked out, and that looks like one of the two Jaguars is struggling down the pit lane. It's Pitsonia again. Had so much technical difficulty this weekend.
That's strange, obviously. The mechanics or the radio problem there. Nobody expected him. Tyres not ready. Mechanics not in the pit lane. Fueler wasn't ready. Pitsonia turned up and surprised everybody. And that is the net result of that one.
And it's just not worked out for Jaguar or Mark Webber.
Here we go. This is a replay then of that surprise pit stop of Pitsonia. Isn't it awful when you know you need gas?
I guess through there. Massa comes into the pits though to change the tyres, as you can do this year, because he got a flat spot, as Martin was pointing out. New set of tyres then. Change of strategy for Felipe Massa. There's problems on the right rear corner from the looks of things. They're not quite ready.
Looks like one of the air guns may have failed, but
air guns to get the wheel nuts on and off.
Yeah, is that the right rear still waiting to come off? Yes, it is indeed, I believe. Right, they've changed over using the left side wheel gun, we think, and pandemonium in the Ferrari pit. Is that? I think that's the old tyre coming off. Indeed, it is. So finally, the fourth reminds you of Eddie Irvine in the Nürburgring of Ferrari, where they struggled to find a right rear, but it wasn't a case of finding it. It's a case of just not having an air gun to get it off with. So Michael.
Mark Webber dojel pouze 3 závody z předešlých 8. Tak, sídlo zpátky. Vidíte, že je to celkem rutinní záležitost. Chybí kolo pro Juana Pabla Montoyu, no to snad není pravda. Tak ještě ji přinesl mechanik dokonce i s tou zateplovací dečkou. No a ta pneumatika nevypadá úplně nejzdravěji. No tak to jsou věci. Dříve...
Robert Kubica collided with Heidfeld at the start and damaged his aerodynamics. And who knows what's going on with this pit stop. Super Aguri can't take their eyes off the action. So much so they haven't noticed that Davidson has pitted. A run-in with the local wildlife has damaged his front wing and taken the team unawares. 16 and Vettel pitted, but the team wasn't ready for him.
Eventually, he got a full set of new soft tyres. Webber pitted on the same lap as his teammate, but the mechanics were even less prepared for him. Every second he sat in the pit lane cost him vital track position.
How long can he keep going without any further drama? Let's watch Sebastian Vettel's pit stop. They're still running out with the tyres. Eventually they come. And just that must be seen like an age, maybe, to Sebastian Vettel.
The blankets and everything.
Yeah, he could maybe see his championship hopes fading away, a lack of communication. Daniel Ricciardo, the race leader, Lewis Hamilton making his way into the swimming pool chicane. Now they haven't got the tyres ready. The tyres aren't ready. Ricciardo is sat there waiting. Did he make the call? Did the team make the call? Whoever made the call, the tyres weren't ready. Super soft tyres going on. Hamilton now makes his way.
Yes.
Valtteri Bottas takes the lead of this race.
They're not ready for him. They weren't expecting him. They didn't know it's happened. They had no idea that it's happened.
Well, they weren't ready for him because he's only come in because of that accident, and I think now they're going to look to get maybe intermediate tyres on as well. They're scrambling around all the while. Lewis Hamilton's losing out. Bottas takes the lead. Verstappen now goes into second place. Hülkenberg has just pitted again and moves up into third place whilst they still work on the car of Lewis Hamilton, who was cruising, it seemed, out in front. But in one split second, Leclerc goes and Hamilton's chances of victory looks like they're going as well.
They've got to make sure they get the right tyres on it. They're not Bottas's tyres, for example.
Correct.
We've got a mixture of tyres on that car at the moment. And now we've got Inter's back on it now. That's what they're doing. They're changing their mind on the tyres. Yeah, they have to. I can't see a gap. I can't see a gap in the way the cars are distributed around the track. And they're stacked up.
They're double stacking at Mercedes. The front right tyre was slow for George Russell. And for Valtteri Bottas, even more confusion for a crew that are normally very, very adept.
They're not happy with the left front. They're not happy with his left front.
Well, they double stack. They've reacted really, really quickly, Mercedes, and this is costing Bottas. Oh, his brakes are on fire now as well. They had the wrong compound of tyre on, and that's why they couldn't send him out again. But now those brakes are overheating. He has lost track position. Science is coming in for Ferrari. It's the shortest pit lane, I think, of the season. And can they get to work nice and speedily down at Ferrari? That seems to be held for quite some time, and they had to hold it because Sergio Perez was in his box. They couldn't release Carlos Sainz because Perez was there and they were still looking for Carlos Sainz. I don't think they had a tyre at the rear left for Carlos Sainz.
Pit stop where they weren't ready. Look, they're not even there. There's not a single intermediate tyre in sight.
They came in, whether that was the driver who called it or the team who called it, but the crew weren't ready with the tyres, we don't know. But certainly the tyres weren't ready for Charles Leclerc when he came in.